Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. So today we're talking about the possibility of an A18 chipped MacBook of some kind, a MacBook Air, a MacBook something. In front of me on the table, you can't really see, but I have an M2 MacBook Air 12 inch, 12 inch, 13? 13 inch, yeah, 13 inch. And then also to the side, I have an almost non-functional just MacBook, 2015 MacBook, and that is about 12 inches. And then also the one I can pick up and show you, this is a iPad Air 4. This is I think the just 9.7 inch. This is the traditional model, the standard iPad size. But I've been looking at these rumors, and I have a few opinions here. Let's say they go in the vein where they're just going to do the frame of a MacBook 13 inch and they're just going to put this A18 inside here. At this point, and I have to say this, really, what is the point of doing that? It doesn't really make much sense. The form factor's already out there. If you want to go low, by the time this new version is going to come out here, you can probably get the same type of model that I have, and let me just, I'm going to bring it in front of the camera. You can get this form factor. You can get this form factor. It will be usable, but it will probably be about the price of $600, $700 that the A18 is going to be. And as an M2, so here's how it stacks up. In terms of power, maybe not cores, but it's M1, A18 Pro, and then M2, and then M3 and M4, those other ones will do everything that you need here. That would be like the power structure. So in a year, I don't think that really makes sense. What would entice me is, let me pull the other form factor device that we have here, the MacBook from 2015. This paper thin device that I think still works, and the only reason I really don't use it is that the spacebar stopped working for me, so I tried to repair it on my own, and I think I completely broke the entire thing, where this is not really that functional, but I can still use it. It turns on. I may get the keyboard replaced at some point. It may be not even worth doing that anymore, but for this, it was just, this was all I needed. Before the keyboard broke, the things that I would use a MacBook for, and maybe this may be just me, although I think people are gravitating toward this in general, is I record a lot of video. That's done on my iPhone. I process that video. I edit minimally. If you know anything, maybe I put a title, I put whatever, and that's it, and I just shoot it, and it's just out. So I use it very minimally. I can do that on programs like Video Leap. I can do that here. I can do that in the iPad. I really do not use the laptop form factor unless it's for probably literally two things. I don't do any video editing on anything like this, but I was opening up word processing. If you're writing up a paper, doing, making a resume, working with things like Excel or numbers, where you need that more like fine-tuned tactileness of a keyboard and like the little pointer and mouse, that is something that could maybe work for you, for me, for anybody, and that's really how I use things. Honestly, that's the only times when I ever, oh, sorry, YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio is formatted best for uploading multitudes of videos at once. I think you can do up to 15 videos on YouTube Creator on the website. And when I'm uploading a lot of shorts, let's say I shot for New York Fashion Week, I have hundreds of videos to go for, and I'll just upload 15 chunks at a time because it allows you to upload things and you can change the names all together after the fact instead of going to, let's say, the YouTube app on the iPhone, which we're using here, or the iPad, where you can only really do one video at a time. Now you can just mindlessly go back, select, go back, and it eventually will work, but it's just a little bit more tedious. And then also maybe checking things like copyright, changing mass things like changing the mass descriptions, mass names, a bunch of stuff on YouTube Studio. It is more functional on this, even if you can still pull up YouTube Studio. Let me pull it up here. On the iPad. Because what do you have to do? If you press it immediately, as I've done here. Oh, this is interesting. All right, so for the longest time, and this could have changed with the beta software because we're running iPad OS 26. I do want to switch this over because here's what happens. Here's what has happened before. I open up YouTube Studio and it always opens up in the app. And this is something I thought was going to work out one way, but this may be working out in a totally different direction and maybe changing this video altogether. You know, on an iPad, they have the little pogo pins and all that. Do they have? Yeah, so they have it on here. You can get a keyboard and mouse support on here. You can get traditional mouse support. You can do whatever. And with the new iPad OS 26, you can go even small enough to like an iPad mini 6th generation, and you can get a little keyboard for it, and you can use it functionally as this, because wow, this actually opened up pretty quickly. And now that I'm thinking, guys, I have to ask, why do you use laptops? Is it because it's the form factor you've grown up with, or is it just what has worked? Like maybe it just works for you. I was born in 1989. I grew up with like the big PCs, that, you know, giant shoebox PCs, sitting at a desk. Then I moved over to a laptop. I had the Ultrabooks like from Sony, like when they were brand new, because I'm really tech forward. I wanted to do that. And then iPads came out. I had the first iPad, and it was fun. It was like a really consumer like heavy, because it was like made for consuming media, not really creating too much stuff. But now it's like even this iPad Air 4th generation from 2021 still is like functional. I can still use it. It's perfectly fine. I even have an iPad Pro 12.9 inch from 2018. Perfectly functional. But yeah, it seems at this point just slapping on a keyboard and mouse and I'm set. Because again, sorry, I'm learning this in real time using the new beta software. It did not toggle immediately to the app, which limits what you can do, because I just want to see here. If I'm hitting create, which uploads videos, I'm going to select files. Now, can we mass drop a bunch of files? I'm hitting select files, go to photo library. And again, things could be glitching out because it just doesn't want to work right now. But for example, let's see here. Can we choose more than one? I'm looking at all the cat videos I've ever made. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can upload multiple on here. That is extremely functional. Again, that was something I've been doing on the MacBook. And the only reason why I got this MacBook is because the form factor of an iPad Air or an iPad Pro is professional. When you go to certain places, I know this from also being a photographer, if I go to certain shoots, like again, shooting New York Fashion Week, you want to bring in something that is perceived as professional, like a camera, like one of my cameras here. This would probably be the smallest camera that I would use on a professional shoot, or maybe it was. This is a Canon M6 Mark II. This is my professional camera with a really small lens, good for like shooting in small spaces. I have one that's much bigger, much better in low light. I have like, of course, the telephoto lenses. But when I went there for this year, I brought these because I was like, I want it to look like I am ready for my job. Although, in the end, I found out I was really using this iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I was also using a iPhone 16 Pro, both because they have the 5x optical zoom, and yeah, for 90% of the shots, photos and video, I was using that, and they turned out amazing. I submitted them to publishers, they took them, they were very happy with it. And again, my original thought, and I want to go back to this, was bring a MacBook Air 11-inch back using the A18 Pro, charge like $600, $700. 600, please. I mean, that would be great. We'd like something lower cost. And then I'd be able to do a little bit more of laptop things. But now I'm thinking, because they've really kind of enhanced, and again, I can use Video Leap on this. I know Final Cut Pro is not going to be good on the standard iPads. You need a Pro after a certain time, I think 2024, to get it. I like using this. Old technology will be fine with me as long as it works. I know I'm somebody who really talks about technology a lot, but I've kind of found my comfort zone, and so many other product reviewers out there are kind of getting tired because there's no more innovation. But I think what is essential right now is something that has a touch screen, as we have here with most iPads. I mean, all iPads. But I mean, most iPads will also support, physical, not really a Bluetooth, because you like just to slam things shut and just have this little small form factor with me. But I honestly think, I thought for a moment, I want the iPad Air 11-inch back. I want the 2015 MacBook to be that size, thinness, and form factor, but to be properly powered with an A18 Pro. That would be perfectly fine for most people consuming content, or just doing a little bit of photo or video editing. But you don't need it. You honestly don't need this. You just need an iPad of size whatever you choose, mini, regular, or large Pro version, and then you're kind of set. Really, you are set with that. This is going to be an interesting year, because I think there was a missed opportunity by Apple to put touchscreens on Macs. This could have been that stopgap. I know it's not optimized for it. You kind of have to reach over the keyboard, but it would kind of help with a little bit. It would help it be a more creative device. Windows laptops have been doing this for years. I know that they were worried about iPads cannibalizing Macs and vice versa, but I know that the next form of media consumption and media creation is not here yet. And those are going to be VR. Right now, you can use your Meta Quest, you can use your Apple Vision Pro, and you can touch around, you can do a lot of things, but it is not as perfect as it needs to be to edit your movie, your feature-length film, to touch minuscule little things. It's not there just yet. And I think it would probably be about 5 years or so before we're there. We're going to get fun things like foldable phones, but I get why they didn't want to mix these too much. But now I think they are, and the iPad is the one that's going to win. MacBooks are just there because literally people do not understand that they do not need, first, you don't need a Pro. You don't need a Pro. I don't need a Pro. You need just like an iPad. You need an Air that does the functional things that maybe your work requires. I think at the most, if you were in the financial industry and you would need, multiple setups, you can still run multiple views, multiple monitors off one single MacBook, and maybe that's perfectly fine. Even an Air works for this. But I don't know, I feel like they're grasping at straws. It's almost the same way as it is for me. There are days when I think about tech and I feel like I'm grasping at straws. Is this really worth talking about? I know so many people will talk about it, and maybe they'll have to purchase something new to talk about the new product, but I don't really want to. I find the things that I have around me functional. I think the only thing that I upgrade year after year, just because look at my TV in the background. The only thing I upgrade year after year is the iPhone, because it literally does everything that I need it to. The only thing I would like it to do more is have a bigger screen that may be fixed by a foldable version of it, but I need it to be accepted everywhere, just in case I'm going to a concert or a venue that sometimes they don't allow professional equipment, as in cameras or laptops or whatever. You just can't have that. I need it to be accepted everywhere. I need it to be portable. I personally need it to be waterproof because let's say you're going outside, you're taking your iPad with you. This is not waterproof, even though it should be waterproof. A MacBook absolutely is not waterproof just because of that keyboard. It probably will never be water resistant, waterproof. This one, they could have made this waterproof, water resistant 10 years ago. If they can make current generations of Amazon Kindles, the e-readers, water resistant and waterproof, which they are, and I love it because I can take it to the pool or the beach. They could have done this a long time ago. I don't understand why they don't do it. But again, I will probably be getting the iPhone 17 Pro because I feel like the next thing that's coming up is going to be the 48 megapixel sensor on the 5x zoom lens, which will make it more not a digital zoom when you zoom in on 5, it'll be an actual cropping in on that sensor on 5 to make it a real 10 and then stretch to maybe a 20 digital zoom, because even the digital zoom is great and people are fine with that quality. But I think that this is a year where Apple thought the Apple Vision Pro is going to do a little bit better, even though right now it's at, how much is it, $3,000 something dollars? It's only a proof of concept right now. They have nothing to hold them over because there's nothing really new with the MacBooks. I mean, what, are you just going to have a faster processor than the M4, something that works harder for somebody who's going to use this for Netflix, for music, for looking at news? Like, no, you're really not going to do that. People don't need that. They want battery life. They want the basic functionality. So I get why they want to do an A18 Pro. But just coming back to it, put it in a nice small form factor for people. Maybe make those different sizes for the people who want to go all the way up to a 15-inch, a 17-inch as they used to do. Because, you know, it's that screen, and I do get it. But put that really efficient processor in there, make the battery life insane because it's already great already. But just make something functional for more people, for more of these casuals. I know it's not like a pro product, even though it's going to be the 18 Pro in a standard MacBook. That's kind of weird to say, but who knows. Anyway, I know this is a long-winded thing, and I really went away from what I originally was going to say, which would be just put this in an 11-inch body. Right now, I think we're set. iPad OS 26. It's kind of doing just everything you need here. And with a keyboard and mouse, you can still work with Excel files. You can do those point things that you need a pointer for. Yeah, I don't see much innovation going on here other than finally unlocking the iPad to do what it really needs to, or needed to do for a long time. Just bring the Pro apps for the people who don't need the most minimal things possible. People like you who actually need maybe Final Cut Pro and everything on the regular iPads, just bring it on so we all have something to do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you can find me on Instagram at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2025@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.